shit then? What's the reason? Welcome my homies. Another beanbag session. Triple Beam, Beam Nation. Our official mascot, the Beam logo. We got Nihilistic Optimus playing in the background before I cut that out and interview our new host, Judah Trinity. Had to switch it up because Timbele was not feeling too well. And then also Oaks Heat West as our guest today. We are talking alternative hip hop, and I could not be any more fired up and stoked for this interview because this is one of the most interesting homies that I feel like I have ever had the privilege to make music with. I've ever had the privilege to cook up with, and I'm looking forward to this discussion. So today our discussion is alternative hip hop. And I feel like a lot of us don't necessarily understand what that even means in and of itself. Hi to everybody joining. I feel like, look, right now we're in a stage of transition. We're in a stage of, I feel like, people moving from the content that we're used to content that is more meaningful and of more substance, something more alternative, something more different. And that's where I feel like most of our ears have been transitioning to. So while we wait on Orcs to join us, we finna kick it off, just playing a few more tracks, jamming out, having some good vibes. I'm really looking forward to this one, and I know that you guys should do too. This one is a shout out all the way to RX Solo, to Tafari Netanza, and we're gonna kick this one off with a lovely track which I feel like is testament to a lot of shit, man. Shout outs to Oaks for joining. Yeah. What's up? What's up? Now this is all good. Acetone. Oaks request, bro. Let's get this conversation kicked off. I gotta get a new lighter. Yo guys, I'm gonna go grab a lighter and then we can kick it off. Yo, hey,
Wagwan King.
Dude,
yes, sir.
Welcome to the Beam session. The third, I would say our third guest officially for this year, talking about a whole lot of bag, bro. First and foremost,
Yes,
Doc, how are you doing, my lord, my kingship captain? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Can't complain right now. How are you doing?
I feel like, dude, I'm trying to keep my chin up every day because, I mean, this right now with regards to transitioning and running the Beam and getting stuff off of, I feel like the runway. Every day, small goals, small progresses, small victories, but like victories big and small, still a victory, bros. That's why I'm keeping it up to the T. Welcome to everybody that's joining. Alternative hip hop, bro. What does that mean to you?
Bro, I mean, there's so many, I don't even know what to say, man. Alternative hip hop, it's everything now. It's literally pop music. Because anything that is not pop is technically hip hop, and that's alternative, right? You can even say,
I feel you in some sense.
I feel like anything with a drum beat is alternative hip hop.
I feel like if I check out, look, Wikipedia's, I don't know if Wikipedia's definition does it justice, but it literally says it's a subgenre of hip hop music that encompasses a wide range of styles that are not typically identified as mainstream. So like for that specific description, I feel like we fit right in there, bro. Like, look,
Definitely.
I would not call us. I feel like even with the taxi track that we made, bro, that shit sounded different. All I heard, guys, all I heard was Oaks on the mic, just on some. I'm thinking, what is this homie doing? But then to sample that and then to flip that beat into what it came off, word to you and JJ Prime for that legendary beat, bro. And that I feel like that synergy that I feel like you bring to the table from that perspective of, look, guys, this is how we make music. This is nothing compared to what y'all niggas hear or even need to hear. But even the TNT freestyle, I remember meeting you down all the way, bro, in the drawing room. That was the OG. That was the OG
Yeah,
OC
man.
West meeting with Judah, bro. That link up in and of itself has set aside so much if we look back in retrospect now to where we find ourselves at this moment in time. And like, I really want to get a lighter first and foremost to light up this energy, but leave that all aside. I just feel like where do you find yourself in a space of creation, of making right now that you feel like is going to be necessary for people to hear? Like, what do you feel like you want people to be hearing right now through our voices and what we're doing? Because like,
Man,
damn,
that's
bro,
a good.
my psychologist asked me that question. He was like, why do you feel like people need to hear your music? And I feel like, you know, that's a deep existential question for most people, bro. But alternative hip hop in
Bro,
and of itself is something that stands out.
I would say this, man. I even asked because I was filming another interview this morning, but not me being interviewed. I was interviewing someone else, and I asked them like, "What is
Mm-hmm.
the aim of your music? Who's the audience for your music? Who would you like to see?" Obviously, everyone can say ideally the world, like you want the world to receive your art, but
Yeah.
I think it's down to us as individuals. I think that's where the idea of alternative hip hop comes in. We're trying to bring a narrative that's maybe not mainstream, and that's what brings
Mm.
the alternative aspect. We're trying to speak to people who maybe feel like they're not represented in the pop sphere, in the pop realm, and by bringing what we have to the table, hopefully it can, show that there is difference in in the music game. Because I feel like a lot of people
Iconic.
say, "Oh, yeah," like a lot of people say, "Oh, the music's the same, music sounds the same," but it's because they don't have the access, maybe, or they're not even listening for the alternative voice, and that's what we trying to provide is the alternative voice.
Yo. And I feel like look, being alternative, it just stands out to, I feel like being unique and different. Hip hop has always had this type of attitude of like, look, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, deal with that. That kind of approach of being unafraid and kind of standing for what you believe in. Right now, I feel like we're at a place more than ever, bro, to be able to question what society needs to see. Not even from like the
Yeah.
mainstream perspective, but just in terms of a human being perspective, bro. Like I feel like as even as artists, right, as people that are trying to make sure that we can make sure our content that we're speaking about isn't specifically, I feel like the OG narrative of what hip hop has been. It's been changing. I was even having a conversation with my sister earlier. Why do we still have the differentiations in this understanding of you look, you can say rapper, but then as soon as there's a female body, you say female rapper. And I was still trying to have that discussion with my
Mm.
sister too. It's like, what does that even mean, bro? To the point that she's like, nah, it still matters though. It still really matters because it is a category in and of itself that people are either using to elevate themselves or other artists are thinking it's like, I feel like something that they can use to box somebody in. And different artists have different takes on it. Right now, I'm making a track with Manic, and it's literally about it's a track trying to speak towards GBV from a male perspective, even from a hip hop perspective of how many
Whoa.
homies do we have out here even speaking about concepts like this, stuff that I feel like is particularly, it can be seen as pretty dense.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if you watch this. It's like a UK drill track, but it's like a whole story called Shiro Story. It's a three-part song where like this guy is literally talking about how, you know, first he got into the gang life. Okay, it's not necessarily about him, it's about the character Shiro, but it's like, yo, he got into the gang life. His girl kind of betrayed him for the other guy. Then like it brings all these aspects, you know, of like gang violence
I hear you.
and even GBV as well, and interaction between, you know, loyalty between friends and stuff like that. I mean, we definitely have a great opportunity now with the internet to actually bring all these stories to the fore and push a narrative of enlightenment, man, just to like put the spotlight on all of these situations.
Facts. Dude, I think that is the most important thing out of music in and of itself. Is because when people listen to us, it's like not only the question comes up of why should they listen to us, which you just answered being enlightenment. I feel like that's the crux of why we do what we do, is to convey, yes, something from a different perspective, but then also like more so I feel like a narrative of like the perspective that isn't immediately understood through your brain. That's why I feel like alternative hip hop finds itself in the place where it does, is because it encompasses a wide range of styles that aren't necessarily directly the trap music that we might be hearing. Or even though you said that grime music was something that is impactful and that is I feel like changing the narrative, bro. Many people are starting to become conscious of this. Many people are starting to wake up now as to like, yo, this doesn't have to be, I feel like, the same story that we hear through hip hop. It can constantly be evolving, it can constantly be changing. Word to everybody that just joined. And if you guys have any questions about alternative hip hop, I know Courtney just joined. I know Luna is Luna Ascension's even in watching right now. T Thug, please do send your questions through so that Orcs can give some insight as
Send
to,
it through.
I feel like, where we've been at. But dog, if I can, while they're busy asking questions, if I can ask you this one thing of where it all started, because I remember when we were in the drawing room listening to those beats and they sounded so different. They were like, dog, this sounds like some trippy, vintage Frank Ocean. I guess some nice feels from this. Where did that all start? I feel like where does your inspiration to the source? Because you're somebody that's very consciously aware, very consciously woke. Like even listening to your last IGTV, reel that you dropped down, and even going to go and watch that on on YouTube. Where do you feel like the I feel like the need to be different comes from human beings, bro?
Bro, I think, okay, to be honest, when I started making music, I was definitely trying to make hip hop, but because of the sounds I had, I didn't necessarily have like the Metro Boomin pack back then. Like it was hard to find samples, so I I
I
just
feel
used
you.
whatever sounds was available. Shout out FL Studios. They definitely had more of an EDM sound back in the day, so that's kind of what influenced my sound. I think that's even what influenced like grime sound and stuff like that. So I just started choosing unique sounds, and then I never stopped. I just kept going. Like you
I
kind of,
feel
you know,
you.
what you practice is what you become. So I just practice
Mm,
making weird stuff. I never tried to fully, you know, follow a tutorial all the way. I always try to take, okay, what's the best bits, what can I actually take from this, and then flip it. And I think that's just the key to even finding a sound, is like not necessarily on someone else's path, but use the lessons that they teach you to kind of forge your own way. That's kind of
I
how
feel you,
I
bro.
ended up with my wavy stuff, man.
It's always been wavy. That's what I'm trying to say. It's always been like the TNT freestyle, bro. Literally, that
Yeah.
TNT freestyle that we got, that we were graced with. I'm gonna try and see if I can pull it up right now. But like that in and of itself, I feel like human beings have this capability, this understanding that look, and I feel like for artists more so, this is the tip that I feel like most people can be put on is like you mentioned, you didn't have the Metro Booming samples in the beginning, and so much of how we model ourselves as artists in our startup stages are along the lines of, look, I want to sound like this specific artist. I want to try and make my sound, or at least
True.
my voice, trying to pick some sort of style that is popping at this moment in time. So that shit got me tripping because I listened back to all of the old stuff. The thing paused. I listened back to the old stuff, and I just think of how much growth we go through as artists, but then also how we are able to, I feel like, differentiate ourselves in the smallest factor of just being unique, in just being ourselves. Your I feel like your aesthetic, your sound, your style, everything encompasses that which is Orc Seat West, that which is different, that which is to the T alternative, to the T. I feel like thinking and encompassing
Bless,
that
bro.
consciousness. Like how do you specifically? I feel like even in your selections of samples nowadays, right? Because we done cooked up some amazing stuff down at Bones Studio too, which the people don't even know about yet. But we can start to speak about, I feel like, things that I feel like the Cape Town scene right now, South Africa scene right now is doing in hip hop. Who are a few cats that you could drop off of the dome that you know right now are doing things that are completely different to what we have been seeing? Like, who would you mention? Because I know a
Come
few
on,
Jovi cats.
man.
I know a lot of cats too. Like, shout outs to Tammy Powers. Shout outs to Cash CPT, bro. Homies are dropping some
Definitely.
conscious stuff.
Dude, Cash just dropped now, like literally within the last 2 hours, that video that was crazy, man.
Woo! I saw that too. That's in and of itself. It's a sound that is completely different, even from the Cape Town scene. And these homies have been, I feel like, playing off of their sound, of their vocal melodies. That's specifically speaking towards Cash in a way that I feel like, dog, is just repping Cape Town so much to the point right now where way before even the pandemic, we had Night Show, we had all those shows right now. And
Yeah.
that brings me to the understanding, how are we interacting with the crowd now, bro? Now that it is a pandemic, like how many people are coming out to seeing stuff? How many events have you even been to, engaging with people? Because I know you've been to a few recently.
Yeah, definitely, man. I've been out and about. I've been experiencing Cape Town, even, in between the lockdowns when we had, the ability to move around a bit. I was out there.
Yeah.
I was trying to see what was happening, definitely. Um, with regards to that, though, I think it's platforms like this, like being on IGTV, being live. There's Twitch now that's popping. There's a whole bunch of
Yes.
platforms that's allowing people to interact with the audience in a way that they've never really seen before. Even
Mm.
NFTs, like I've been posting about, blockchain stuff, where you're able
You
to
just put. I was
sell
about to
people
say that.
access to you.
You said it first.
Yeah,
But that is in of
yeah,
itself a
man.
game changer, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen big moves, bro. There's even this guy now, Beeple. I followed him on Instagram because he was just giving out like free artwork. He was showing people like all these different 3D designs, and then all of a sudden, he put his stuff on NFT, the NFT platforms, and in an
Yeah.
auction, he sold one of them for 69 mil, bruh. Literally, his
That's a
auction went
trip.
all the way up, touching 70 mil for that,
That's a trip.
unique encoded. And I mean, he's been giving out basically pictures for free for the last 5 years, I would say. And then just to see now that, people actually really appreciate, and because you have that social clout, you're able to then claim this kind of power. So I'll say, bruh, when it comes to performing live, being in a live setting, it's really up to
Mm.
the artist themselves how they want to interact with the audience. They can push the live scene, which I think is still growing in Cape Town. It hasn't even reached its peak yet. Even
No, it
before
hasn't.
lockdown, even now post lockdown, again, we're kind of re-upping. All these places are coming together,
Coming to life again. I feel
coming to
like,
life again.
I don't know how you felt, bro. I felt, to some certain extent, a lot of, I felt a wave of just like depression, of just like, damn, bro. I forgot how much fulfillment I got out of the performance, out of the live performance space. How much it like brought to our soul of, I feel like standing on what we were doing. The on top of the Dead
Yeah,
Slaves tape that Buddha Excess produced was and I feel like bringing it back to that narrative of conscious content of people wanting to see stuff that's different. The on top of the Dead Slaves tape was quite literally, if I have to put it as bluntly as it was a shot at the institution, bro. It was literally a shot at UCT. It was me, because I was on hitting campus pretty much every single day of my life for I feel like the past 3 years, bro. And I was in a space that felt draining of my creative energy. I found out, and this was the slap in my face, above all of the racism that I felt like I was still enslaved to the institution. But I found out that the very grounds that we worked on, because if you're familiar with hitting the campus in and of itself, there's a slave graveyard, bro, that is literally underneath the Michaelis Galleries itself. Yet Michaelis always, and I feel like UCT speaks about transformation, speaks about decolonization so much, but we are still enslaved to the institution. People are still being used, I feel like, in the same old ways that we've been doing things. So it's only a matter of time, and that I saw revolutionaries like ourselves, like you, like Beam Nation, people that are specifically aiming at making sure that their content is standing out in a different way, bro. Because I mean, like when I felt that, it was like a kick to my heart, bro. I had to be moved to make something else. I felt like out of that deep dark pit, we were able to transition to something that could speak to something that wasn't necessarily put down in mainstream. Like the sounds that we used, even the sounds that we still continue to use at this day, it brings this culture of Kaapstad, which is so diverse that it can't do anything else but stand out. Like losing yourself in the process of creation to find yourself again is where I found myself at the end of last year in order to get to this point. But then again, I just wanted to say, like, in the ways in which I feel like we've been structuring our music, even with the NFT drops, how are we as artists to do that, bro? How are we? Because I myself have been trying to put myself on the game as to how we can distribute and put our content out on those platforms. What ways do you know that artists, I feel like we can put artists in on some game to actually get to the point of distributing this stuff online? Because I know that startup capital is one of the biggest things that I feel like artists right now need, bro. And it's lacking, bro. Well, it's not a shortage of money around there, but I feel like it's invested to specific people with a specific familiar aesthetic that we are used to seeing.
bro. Let me just touch on that. You know, when it comes to the establishment, right? The establishment is always going to feed a certain narrative, a narrative that helps maintain the structure of whatever they're trying to push. So I'm gonna say, yeah, even trying to find startup capital, you need to find someone who, believes in your dream. But
Facts.
this is me putting the people on game right now. If you want to start with this whole NFT game, and you even looking for startup capital, my advice right now, most practical advice, go on this thing called Brave Browser. Brave Browser is a browser
Mm-hmm.
that pays you in cryptocurrencies. Literally, they give you a recommendation to install, well, not install, sign up to this wallet called Uphold. Once you've
Mm-hmm.
signed up with Uphold, you'll link the wallet to the browser. So while you're using the browser, they're going to show you their own ads. It's basically just like a pop-up that comes to the side. I'd say in about a month's time, if you're using this browser like really frequently, you probably save enough to convert their tokens that they give you, which is called BAT,
Mm.
their Brave browser tokens. You can convert that into Ethereum, which is the main
Oh,
which is the main currency that these NFTs are traded on, right? So
Yes, for
once you
Ether. Yeah,
have
I hear you.
your yeah, once you got the Ether, you literally sign up to a website called OpenSea.ai.
Mm-hmm.
On
Mm-hmm.
on OpenSea AI, you can start trying to upload or register some of your media. It can either be pictures, it can be music, whatever. Um, there's a bit more steps in there, like they'll upload their songs to a specific like online storage, kind of like MediaFire or something like that, and then they put it under password
Mm-hmm.
protection. And then what happens is when you sell the NFT, you're basically selling the password to access that media file. But yeah, once you go on
Oh, I hear
OpenSea, and
you.
OpenSea has like a whole bunch of docs that like will explain to you the whole process. But once you're on OpenSea, the Ethereum that you've actually earned on Brave browser, well, what you've converted over, that's what you're going to use to then do a small transaction fee to actually encode your piece of artwork onto the blockchain. And from
I
there,
feel
that's
you.
when you can start pushing the NFT, because now you have it basically encoded to the blockchain. But yeah, like people can DM me for more infos because I have like a whole bunch of videos about this stuff. I even have a
I
playlist
feel you too.
that's saved somewhere on my YouTube. I'll send people videos if they want.
Shout outs. And that's the thing, like that's a whole step that I feel like even in transitioning as artists, if we're not open and conscious of that, bro, we aren't gonna be able to adapt and change with the times in and of itself, bro. Because
Definitely.
look, this is a new way of doing. You don't not only is NFT specifically applicable to, I feel like music or art or whatever. You can literally own a house, bro, or a car with the NFT,
Yeah,
with a
definitely.
token. And
I'm a
people
cut it
don't
right
know
here.
that.
Sorry,
People don't
I'm
know
gonna cut
that,
it right
bro.
here. I need to tell the people. Listen, the funny thing
Mm,
is, you don't even have to start with NFTs because, to be honest, in the next 5 years, this is probably gonna be like the basis of the way a lot of businesses run in general. Like even copyrights,
yeah.
NFT technology, which is basically blockchain technology. This is so basic to the idea of copyright that I wouldn't be surprised if companies start selling this as a product of like, yo, we're gonna make sure that when you upload a song, it is encoded on the blockchain. No one can basically rip it off because it's already encoded. And if
Almost
they
as a
try and
default.
upload it, it's yeah, almost as a default because this is what all these companies are pushing for. Like most cryptocurrencies are really just blockchain companies that are selling tokens for their service. All of these companies are trying to provide a service either in the
Mm,
banking sector or in the data section like in the data sector. These companies are like real, they're trying to do work, they're not trying to be a currency, they're trying to actually represent something that happens in a business sense, and then you're just buying in basically like a share. If
mm,
anything, the currency is a share of that company.
mm. I feel you, dog. And this is what I'm trying to figure out. Is like, even for me, you know what the main thing, and this is like to bring it back to the topic of even just music and help me drop the comment. Sheesh. But I'm trying to
She
say that quite literally we are at a point of frequency programming. That's what we are as artists, as musicians. We, like you were saying, DNA is what the comparison algorithm to like our whole entire existence, bro. And then music in and of itself, the frequency we program and even put into people's ears and minds are changing this. How the fuck is Oaks in the Matrix? Bro, we all in the Matrix, dog. That's what I'm trying to say. Is
plugged
this in and
in,
of
man.
itself is nothing new, bro. We plugged into the Matrix, bro. And then the moment you understand that is the moment you can like impact it and also change it in a way that I feel like it gives you a certain amount of freedom and also understanding of like, damn, bro, the power we have as artists, the power we have as human beings can change the reality of the world just through music frequency programming, bro. That in
Definitely,
of
man.
itself is such a trip, bro. Like when we start to feed ourselves different content, we'll start to see different outcomes come out of that very, I feel like, situation.
Bro, like literally what are you talking about? I have to shout out Sedge Links right now because I hear he's working on something along the lines of like some
Shout outs.
some cymatic stuff, bruh. Like, I don't know how much I can speak on because I heard it secondhand, but like, yo, it sounds like some cool stuff is popping there too. So I'm gonna say, bro, literally, we are frequencies. We are basically entities that are just vibrating in a specific like realm. That's how we're able to see each other because we literally vibrate on the same vibe. And then above us, you know, there's whatever's popping there, and then below us, whatever's popping there. You know, there's dark matter in the universe, bro. That's like 90% of the
Bro,
universe. We don't even know what's cutting. We just here
you
in a
don't even know what
small
dark matter is.
10%.
I
Yeah,
feel
bro,
you.
that's like that could be someone else's home, bro. That could literally be another homie's house. And he's just like, yo, I'm parked here, but I don't want y'all to see me, so I'm encrypted. I'm encrypted in the matrix. That's how it is, man. We
And
just
that
sending
shit,
our
that
own
shit
codes
makes
to
me
each other.
trip. Like when you
Bruh,
ever just had
life
a
is tripping.
thought, when you have a thought transitions from a thought to an action, that's directly influencing the matrix. So like I feel like one of the main things that people are trying to do, even right now with media and controlling what is being allowed to be said, is so that they can try and control the frequency, the very vibration that people are able to operate under. They want you to be at a certain vibration that won't allow you to, I feel like, elevate or at least disrupt the order to how they want things to run. And music and the revolutionaries we've seen in music, bro, there's plenty of revolutionaries everywhere, bro. As we look around right
Definitely,
now
bro.
to this day, I feel like when you start to get that higher elevation of vibration, that's when they start to see you as a threat. That's when you know your power. That's when they're like, oh my God, this we're gonna silence this motherfucker.
Bruh, to be honest, we all threats, bruh. That's why they have us eating junk food. That's why they have us doing all sorts of whack stuff. Like the real chat is it's within us. We get to decide how much we want to be controlled. I mean, obviously you have to survive, you have to get money, you have to do, you know, the step-by-step things that keep you functioning in the society we've already created. But above that, we have the freedom to think. And it's not necessarily for us to like just push these kind of narratives on people. It's for people themselves to be like, okay, where is this coming from? Like why are people feeling this way? And then look within themselves, like what actually made me feel bad today? What actually is oppressing, bro? If you look at advertising, bro, we're constantly bombarded
Mm.
with imagery around us that is making us feeling inadequate,
Yo.
making us feel like we're less than, making feel like, yo, we need to buy that latest car, that latest clothes, the latest whatever, and just
Bro.
keep on the cycle, bro. I mean, I don't know if people ever been to the jungle or like Eastern Cape or something where there's no advertising. That stuff is crazy, bro. That's like, yo, I actually feel like my brain is free now because I don't have all these subliminal messages hitting my brain.
And it's the
But
frequencies are different. When you're out there in
it's
nature and there's nothing of
it's
no
different,
signal
bro.
even, you feel better, bro. When you're
It's
not
true, man.
surrounded by it. Because it's
It's
electromagnetic
true.
frequency everywhere, bro. With 5G
Definitely,
even
bro.
now, there's so much shit that's making us trip. But we are at a point now where I feel like, and this is the this is the contrasted place where I feel like music has the ability to bring us closer. We find ourselves at a point where we're more connected than ever and disconnected. It's a
True.
contradiction. It's a paradox. We're all on our
Cause
phones constantly looking and scrolling through things, and then we're not even hitting each other up, and not even like really interacting and sending out the good energies. We'd rather be looking at the ways in which they want us to
yeah,
think about our lives.
bro. It's like this is the crystal ball, bro. Literally, I was watching a documentary earlier about how they got kids mining coltan in Congo, bro. Like these kids are going in deep in the tunnels just to get out the crystals that flip and
Yeah.
help us look at each other, that help us have.
Yo, this connection might be spazzing. I apologize to anybody still online. We'll wait for Oaks to join up again. But this is one thing that makes me trip, yo. It's one thing that I feel like, in turn, if we are more conscious about, we will start to change everything around us. Like I just want us to be able to smile, yo. I just want us to be able to breathe, knowing that we don't have to conform to a certain society standard that's unreachable. When they say you need money to, enjoy time with family because you're going to be working. You don't necessarily need all of the things that they're trying to put into your brain, more so, but just being present in the moment, in the now, in the very tangible, I feel like, vibration and like realm that we find ourselves in, because there's so much more than just this physical interaction on the screen. There's a whole spiritual realm behind everything, and that's why I just want to send out all the love, all the positive light that we possibly can through all the art forms that we have, because the moment we start to do that is the moment that we start to literally change the wheel in a way that we feel like is something that is going to benefit everybody. Like the challenges and trends that we see hopping up on the internet constantly is something that we can start to, I feel like, change ourselves, start to make good trends, healthier trends. To some certain extent, I do know that social media kind of plays off that balance of what is healthy, what isn't healthy. Oh wait, bro. Welcome back, bro. Welcome back, man.
Yo, bro, I was spitting too much fire that my phone overheat, bro. It literally cut the call.
I feel you, dog. Is that Oaks Heat? It's that Oaks Heat. Welcome to
Yes,
everybody
sir.
joining. But I feel like this is the very
Shout out
concept,
everybody.
the very communications we need to be having on the regular, bro. On the regular, and it should be a norm
Definitely,
that we are constantly talking about things that I feel like are going to elevate us, bro.
I think people are having these conversations in private or with their friends and stuff. I think just to see it now in a public sphere, it encourages people to like think deeper about what's happening around them, I guess.
I feel like we have to. If we aren't thinking above the homies that are trying to, I feel like, oppress us and oppress our minds, we are gonna remain slaves to the space that we find ourselves in.
Bro, I think it's also about like we are the masters of ourselves. And once we embrace that, I think we can then, separate this physical world of where people are trying to physically oppress us and then find the power within ourselves to kind of, I don't know.
People are scared,
you know?
bro. People are scared to even accept that as a reality. The amount of freedom that comes with that statement in and of itself, bro. People are like, shit, I already have
I hear
this
that.
tangible
I hear
effect
that.
on everything around me. I'm used to just having shit be done for me. I'd rather have that, and I feel like that's when we change that, bro. Shit's going to kick off, bro. Shit's going to definitely kick off.
Nah, definitely, bro. Definitely. I think, what do you think is the key to empowering people to take that fear away?
I feel like, dude, I don't even know, because it's like because fear is something that is. Alex Dawson, do we have faith in humanity? I do.
I have lots of
I've,
faith in humanity, man. I see
I
some
genuinely
cool
do.
people out there.
I feel like not even that, because I mean, look, it can get dark to the point where we understand that people aren't afraid to trample over other people in order to get what they want out of reality. That's a negative. That's a negative perspective. But I feel like with the irrational amount of evil that is capable to manifest on a daily, is an equal opposite, I feel like, tangible reality of good that can happen in reality too. And the moment that people, I feel like, shed that fear is the moment that I feel like we can all be a lot more confident and in ourselves to make that change and to truly embrace the, I feel like, the energy that we have as spiritual beings, bro. To let our soul guide our mind and body in all things we do. It's like a tripod system that is all connected, and I feel like the more conscious we
Judah
become of
Trinity.
that, amen, is the moment that we start to elevate, bro. So for fear for myself, I feel like fear for me is something that is powerful. Like Mike Tyson said, that it keeps us alive, bro. That's a homie that used to
That's
thrive
facts.
of fear, of making his opponent literally, like, I feel like, tremble in their shoes before they had to go into a ring with the homie. So it's like how, like, there's positive and negatives to even fear itself, bro. Like, there's fear can keep you alive, but it can also kill you.
Bro.
Like what you fear can come onto you, bro.
You know what
You
it
know?
is, bro? It's literally it's part of the programming chat because the chemical responses in your body that gives you anxiety is the same chemical responses that give you excitement when you're about to do something really cool. It's the same
Yo,
chemical. It's cortisol, bro. It's like it's dopamine. It's adrenaline. All the chemicals are the same. It's just now on top of that how we perceive the messages that we're being given from our environment. And like fear is a warning response, but that's also what drives people to then get out of the way of getting harmed, right? If you didn't have that fear, you wouldn't know that you were in danger,
yo,
basically.
that's what I'm saying. Facts. Facts. That's what I'm saying too. It's like there's that positive aspect that fear can bring to you too. In that element of like, and this is what I'm trying to say is that very music that we make can have that desired response. Like we can make somebody feel
Mm-hmm.
fearful, like when we can make them feel unsettled through a simple beat, bro, through simple synth waves, through I feel like the programming, like if you hear someone settling songs, there's a reason why certain songs blow up. Is because they have a certain frequency vibration. This is before I even knew about 432 hertz, bro, or anybody
Mm-hmm.
playing on different specific frequencies. Like, what's more healthier for us to hear? I feel too at the same point. Because I feel like music is that key to how people, music, art, fashion, culture in general, like we find ourselves at a point where we have a lot of, I feel like things going on right now in our tangible reality that might not necessarily be helping us, but as soon as we have artists that are able to, I feel like, take that stand of speaking against the stuff which is happening on the daily, bro.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if you have 1,000 followers, 100,000, or just 100 followers, you are still making that impact of converting to the energy transmutation to something that can be
Definitely.
better.
I agree with that, man. Like, it's really about if you have friends, if you have family, if you feel like what you're saying is going to be of some healing to someone, then say it. And obviously, there's ways to say it, and that's where the whole chat about how frequencies and tones come in, how you communicate with people. But once you learn, I think education, self-education is the first step. Once you give yourself that opportunity to find out what is there out there around you, then you can take those steps, towards individual healing. Because you speak about artists. I think we're all artists. I think
Facts.
some people get to be heard more than others in the sense that some people are just naturally more charismatic than others, right? So if they feel comfortable and confident in themselves to then communicate to the people around them what they're feeling, and if they feel sort of like a positive, transformative nature, then that's the key there, bro. Then we're already winning by that.
I feel you. But it's in that small interaction, bro. It's we are winning if we have that mindset of winning. Like as we think, so we shall be. Like shout outs to Yamaza that just joined. Hey man, I feel like at the same time we are sending out vibrations that can all the time, constantly. The more we become aware of it, the more we are able to influence ourselves and control ourselves. I feel like control of others towards a desired reality is gonna happen the moment that you yourself are able to control yourself towards a positive, more desirable reality. That's what I feel, bro. Like I feel like to some certain extent, the stuff that we are putting into our minds, like the way in which even culture right now, even with social media, is is helping us feel and is making us conscious of everybody, bro.
Definitely.
Is not a bad thing because we find ourselves so hyper conscious. Even now with the pandemic, I was having a conversation with friends the other day. It's just like literally, dog, on that tip of, you look, we now that there is a pandemic, social distancing, whatever, constantly on our phones, online, right? Are so conscious about every single thing that we say. You know, I wish I was
Definitely,
on that
bro.
trampoline too, bro.
Yeah, bro. I needed to get that energy in. But see, even this, bro, like us being able to communicate in this way, like I'm able to do what I need to do to be engaged in this discussion. You're able to be in your space to engage with me, and that's just the power of this whole technology in general, bro.
Mm.
Like, we are given the opportunity to feel comfortable and still communicate, and that's kind of the big advantage of where we're at right now.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Music brings that comfort, bro. Music brings that comfort. And if I had to ask you this question, because I know we got like another 10 more minutes on. If you still want to go, you let me know. But if I had to ask
Oh,
you
yeah.
this one question, so right now, who you're listening to, who are you drawing inspiration from?
That's an interesting question. I'll say this, because it's not necessarily who I'm listening to, but who I'm watching do their thing in the game. I have to shout out Kenny Beats. Kenny Beats is a major influence for me right now, in the sense that where
Shout out.
he's able to collab with like new people as they come into the game, as he's finding out about him. He's like on the cutting edge, bro. I literally watched this interview with him and Rick Rubin. It's on YouTube. I think it's called Broken Records or something. But yeah, dude, like this guy knows his chat, like, for real, and he's about the culture and he's in it, and he's able to engage with it now because he's in a decent enough space where he's produced for a lot of people, and he's given that access to more people to work with. So I definitely take inspiration from him. Dude, TikTok is crazy, and the thing is, it's like the biggest database of what people are interested in or what people find entertaining. I like all the weird Japanese remixes that people are doing. Like, they flipping the Japanese songs and like making it into trap beats or like drill
I
beats.
feel
Like,
you.
that's
That's
fire.
lit.
There's that guy Eldre, I think, who does like lo-fi hip hop type remixes and
Okay.
stuff. He remixed the Lil Nas X Montero track for YouTube, where he did like the lo-fi beats version of that. There's
Yo.
also sheesh. There's Kato on the track. Kato, he's literally making like lit ass beats, and then whoever freestyles to them on TikTok, whoever like gets the most traction, then he puts people on. Like,
Oh, that's
he's like, yo,
genius.
you
That's
know,
genius
right? So
too,
like,
because he knows like
literally, if
who's gonna pop off and who's gonna actually watch that shit.
exactly, like, you can be a nobody, but let's say your verse is so fire that it pops off on TikTok, he'll hit you up and like, yo, we're gonna release this officially. It's an official track. Then you get your traction there, dude.
I fuck with that energy.
Dude, it's like
I
Andy
fuck with
Warhol
that
said,
energy.
bruh. Everybody's gonna get their 15 minutes, and I think it's important to, like, obviously not chase the 15 minutes, but just embrace it. Like, see how people are around the world winning. Dude, there's that guy who was rapping. I think he's an Indonesian guy or whatever. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4. He was like counting to 1,000 or something, and then like Wiz Khalifa remixed that song. Bro. I was like, what's going on?
I know. Like,
You know
that's
what I'm
the
talking about?
littest thing. Like, and if you can smile and like see how other people are winning and you can congratulate and like, I feel like share that energy of happiness and joy in the victory and be happy for other people's successes. That's the moment where you realize, as yourself, you're onto some shit. You know, because
Definitely.
there's people that can look at you popping off. There's people that can look at you doing something and taking the initiative, standing out and actually just doing something different from the crowd, being that alternative. I feel like presence, and they can either choose to react
Exactly, man.
negatively to that or positively. You know, the true friends that you have in your life, or the homies that won't, when you share some success story with them, won't talk about successful things they did 3, 4, 5 years ago, or even worse yet, that stuff that their friends did 3, 4, 5 years ago. They will actually share in that, I feel like, feeling of, well done, dog, like, big ups, you're leveling up. Those are the homies that I feel like are going to start the revolution, are going to, even if themselves, use that energy to translate it into their own reality, to make sure that their bag gets overflow with that energy of what's been happening now.
Nah, definitely, bro. I feel like good will spread better than negativity in the coming years. I think negativity now just, it gets the traction of, shock value, entertainment. But
Yo,
of course, those cycles of like low vibration or like hate and heat and all that stuff, that's like quick fix, bro. It's just like sugar. You eat it and then you crash after that. And once we've gotten off this junk food diet, dude, we're gonna be so healthy. We're gonna find ourselves, sharing really uplifting stuff with each other. I think that's where we're going to. I think that's where we're heading to. And I know the other person just asked, do we have faith in humanity? I think that's my faith in humanity, in the sense that we are adaptive creatures. We learn what is actually bad for us, and we slowly move towards, a more holistic view of everything, our surroundings and everything.
We're the best chameleons. That's facts.
We are the
Human beings are
chameleons,
the
dude.
best chameleons. We're the chameleons, bro. We know exactly how to look and survey everywhere, and then when we're in a new environment, literally adapt of what is happening. Like even people, and this is what the point that I wanted to bring up is like, dude, like you know how people say, "Show me your friends, I'll show you who you are, or your future, or who you're gonna be in 5 years." Literally, when you are in the room with somebody, even in this conversation right now, our neurological pathways, our lexicon, the conversation and the words we exchange with each other literally shape our behavior and our understanding of ourselves in this space and environment. So like you're saying, when we transition to a more holistic, more spiritual elevation, everybody's gonna be on that trend, bro. It's like we've seen the trends pop off, but if that trend now becomes something of elevating yourself, of actual growth, of actual light, and of actual healing, that is gonna change the globe, bro. We are
No,
becoming more empathic. I hit you. I feel you on those numbers too. I feel you on those numbers too, bro. I feel you on that shit. Because that's exactly what it is. We start to calculate shit when we are in our own spaces differently versus when we are in the presence of other people. And our own mind starts to change at that moment in time. Oak's been packing the fire filters, and that's a fact.
yo, man, it's all about unlocking what's already in us. To be honest, to be we are chameleons. To be empathetic, to be able to communicate with each other, in peaceful manners, in helpful ways. It's in us, bro. And I think there's a whole narrative currently where people are trying to put that fear once again in you. Where like, no, you can't help other people. You can't trust other people. You have to be on guard. But I think it's in us. It's in us to first innately know who's trying to screw us over at some stage, and then a layer above that to be able to actually push forward and be helpful. And even if we don't receive the same help in return, but just by like putting that goodwill out there, we see the
The
returns
energy.
in like,
It's gonna come
yeah,
back 30-fold. It's gonna come back
bro,
30-fold. Sowing that
30-fold,
seed.
bro.
That's the tip. That's why I'm like, look, I'm not even like concerned. Like I do care about the quality of music we put out all the time. But I think that even for artists right now that are starting out and always questioning why they should be putting stuff out or sitting on music that they have, doubting themselves, it's just about the intent and the energy that we use to put out into reality. Because that small seed, whether 3 people listen to that song or 50,000 people listen to that energy is gonna come back to you. Your soul is gonna be impacted, or at least have that response from the people that I feel like are tuned into whatever you're making or your vibration to. What's up, Mac? And that's the vibe, bro.
Nah, definitely, man,
Shout outs
definitely.
to
I mean,
everybody joining.
yo, this has been a dope live, definitely, bro. I have to say shout out to everyone who's joined in, who's added
Bless
their
up.
2 cents, who's brought the
True.
vibes. It's been great, man. I'm gonna just say
Shout outs
this
to
in
them.
like,
And yeah.
no, sorry, I was just gonna continue, but I even lost my train of thought now. Go ahead.
What I was trying to say is like if anybody still has any questions with regards to I feel like alternate hip hop or the Cape Town scene, South Africa, drop it down in the comment section below because we need to know like
Definitely, bro.
where your guys' minds at right now, where are you feeling, how are you feeling, and where's your energies at right now, because I feel like there's like a trend, there's like a pattern, it's almost like a wave and a sequence of how our brain functions. Like also I wanted to say like rest in peace to AKA's girlfriend, bro. Cause
Bro, that was actually an emotional
I heard
story,
about that
bro.
news and that like Nelly Tembe, Nelly Tembe, bro. That was very deep, bro. I've the next day
Bro,
I'm
dog, we can
yo
never know what people are going through and dealing with Yeah, just like like it's so cliche to say thoughts and prayers, but like for real, like that kind of situation, and I saw
Yeah.
like the energy coming up to it where he was really like he was invested. He was trying to settle down. He was trying to be with someone. He was trying to
Mm.
just move his life forward in some way. And yeah, obviously not to make about him, but about the girl as well. Like, dude, I cannot even imagine what was the lead up to that situation.
Mm. I don't know too, because I've been thinking. Even I recently saw on the Keep the Same Energy page on IG, there was this girl that was bullied about a 5 rand, bro, and she committed suicide because her friends like smacked her, bro. Literally bullied about a 5 rand. People recording it, put it on social media. We're wrapped
That's
around
crazy.
this, bro. We're wrapped around this energy all the time that people are absorbed in their own, I feel like, ways of life that they can't, as much as empathetic as we are, I feel like we
Mm,
lack to see that other person's life because there is this facade of social media. There is this upfront, reactive,
yo,
I feel like, way in which we're doing things that it's not something we can get into somebody's mind, you know?
yo, we just
Yamaza
had
has a
two
question.
comments pull up.
Yeah. How do you manage focusing on Zen, like peaceful energy, without indulging fake positivity? Yo, bro, that's deep. Cause I mean, it's easy to look like you're smiling when you ain't really feeling. It comes from your
I
heart,
think
dog. I feel that.
it comes
Like
from your heart,
people,
dude.
yeah, you're
Don't fake it.
immediately gonna know. You're gonna know, bro. You're gonna know there's some sus energies and it's not real. It's not real, bro. You know what I'm
I
trying to
mean,
say?
the deeper layer under that is that whatever you feel, I think don't take ownership of your feelings. I think that's the main chat. Because Zen is all about a sort of a detachment, right? You're watching your emotions and your feelings come to you, and it's like embrace them. Like if you're feeling depressed, like understand, yo, I'm feeling depressed, but now, once you've given time to like acknowledge that, then move a step forward. Okay, what are the triggers? What are actually putting me in these situations? And then, if these triggers are something that you can't really deal with in a constructive way, let's say it's your family, it's your school, then it's almost about understanding that how you're feeling is not your identity. You are
Mm.
not your feelings. Like, don't don't claim your feelings.
They
Say
are
yes.
irrational, yo.
Yeah,
Yo.
like
At the
feelings
same
are
time,
waves,
yeah.
just like music, bro. Like they're being played
Facts.
in the background, and you have to learn to kind of find ways to tune it. I mean, you can't usually switch the channel all the way just like off the bat, but slowly, build up into finding more constructive ways. There is a chart. I'm trying to remember how it goes, but it starts with like showing like the lower vibrations of like fear, hatred, and how you slowly transition into anger. Okay, you're angry, you're good. It's better than being fearful. And then through anger, you find courage. Okay, now you're courageous. You're actually pushing past the anger, and you're actually going down to the crux of getting your life into a more balanced state. Then once you move
Mm.
past the courage, you find that contentment, and then you can like transcend through into like empathy and love and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I
I
mean,
feel you, dog.
it's
Don't
all
claim
about
your feelings, yeah.
education. Mm.
Like Quelly said, don't claim your feelings, but at the same time, it's like acknowledging that irrational thought. It's like
Acknowledge
it's
them.
okay to acknowledge them, yes. Acknowledge how you feel in your heart, in your brain, and all of the chakras that you do have. But at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it's like don't let those feelings burden you. They don't define who you are entirely, like you're saying. Don't
Yeah.
let them. It's okay to have them. Don't let them, I feel like, overwhelm or burden you. And I feel like that's a message that we need to constantly be speaking to people so that they understand that, look, because we are constantly seeing other people in different ways online, maybe this person has something
Mm.
that I want. It's just like, you know, it's like understanding that I can get and I can get whatever I desire. But being content where you are right now, or even understanding from that Zen perspective, that objective perspective of these feelings will pass, they will come to some certain extent, they will transition, and I will feel different in maybe 15, 20, 72 hours from now. If it takes longer than that, then that's what needs be. And then Techo Fox was asking again as well. She's familiar with the chart. What songs do you find peaceful, like, and put you into a space of mind?
Okay, so
What is it from your
if
side, Oaks? Before I get to, onto
le-
like whatever.
yeah, like I saw this question and I literally like if he's familiar with the chart, he knows like the lower half is like all the like anger and stuff like that. If I'm feeling like really low, then I usually find a song that's just above it in the sense of like if it's heavy metal or something like really hard that's gonna like shake kind of that low vibrations out. And then
Mm,
once I've gotten through that, then I'll hit like something really like sweet, like really fluffy stuff. Currently it's been dude, I'm trying to Alice Phoebe Lou. Alice Phoebe Lou has been doing the
mm,
most with a new album to like kind of get me into that peaceful state. And there's also like this whole bunch of like the Japanese old jazz songs and stuff like that. Those are really
mm.
cool as well. So those have been kind of the lift weight. But if I'm like
I,
feeling hella negative, I'll say
mm.
Playboy Cardi's been like resetting the button. and
On that
then I'm
Cardi.
able to go in. Yeah, then I'm able
And
to
the
go
thing
into
is,
the more peaceful
though,
stuff.
the thing is, with me, with regards to music, I feel like the one thing that's able to make me feel any type of way are just straight up frequencies. I would literally, I don't know if
Binaural
you know
beats
on
vibes.
YouTube, binaural beats, bro. Like straight up, just on that. It's like when I feel some type of way and I put on a frequency and I just let it play out
Mm,
loud in my room, I'll drink water and I'll literally sit there and meditate to that frequency or just be in the moment of having that there. It changes everything, bro, and it makes stuff manifest at a scary rate. It's like whoa, when you realize, oh my gosh, this is the
yeah, true,
capabilities that
bro.
we have. I feel like a song that I used to listen a lot to, like lo-fi, like way back, bro. Try and find myself in a
Yeah.
peaceful space, especially when I'm on those low, like depressed vibrations. I would be listening to like, I feel like Shiloh, Shiloh Dynasty songles,
Yo,
and I would
Shallow
just shout
Dynasty
out to
for real.
Shiloh, bro. And I would just like let that linger in my mind, and even just I feel like
Yo,
spit bars according to that.
something along the lines of what you just said. There is something. I'm trying to remember this guy's name, but he literally makes lectures into lo-fi beats. Like, let's say it's like a Jordan Peterson lecture or like a Alan Watts lecture. He would take the lecture and literally convert it. Like, he'll put it onto beats, and
I
so it's
heard
like
about
it's
that, homie.
yeah, and like even like meditations and stuff that's put on lo-fi beats. Those are
Yo.
pretty cool as well, dude. YouTube, you can literally search YouTube, what makes you calm music, and there'll be a whole bunch of people who like probably someone there will be able to like show you something along
And
what
tell
you're
you.
looking for. Yeah, like I know this
Yeah.
question that it wasn't specifically for himself, but it's just like in general. But yeah, I think anyone can do that. Just like calm music and see what happens.
And Czechoslovakia, like what you were saying is like music is frequency. It's like what I was trying to say earlier. It,
Mm,
it it is frequency, bro. It's frequency programming too. Like what we were saying earlier. With that alternative hip hop, when we start to speak about like pertinent issues nowadays, and then use like a positive frequency to channel, because when you listen to some certain music with headphones on, even just off loudspeakers, you can feel it either in your crown chakra, like in you can feel it in your throat, you can feel it in your chest, you can feel it almost
yes.
anywhere, bro. And that when you mix that subject matter with something that I feel like is intended to elevate you, like a frequency, or I feel like a programming that is intended to make sure that you feel some type of way, and then has that desired, I feel like, reaction. You as an artist not only have been successful, but then in and of itself, the viewer is successful in transmuting their energy from their state where they find themselves into something a little bit more, I feel like, uplifting. Shout outs to the
Nah,
Teletubbies
definitely.
too. I feel
Dog,
you, dog.
the upliftment, bro. You just gotta
I
shine bright
remember
on
that.
yourself. Nah, for real though. That's a real chat. Like even what you were speaking about, like the binaural beats and frequencies, bro. It just shows that whatever we put into our bodies, whether it's what we eat, what we listen to, even what we smell, like in terms of incense or whatever, like these all help align
Mm,
where we want to be. I think the real chat too is like I realized how much food really affects mood, and like sugar especially. Like sugar, it's that cheap short term
Yo.
hype, and then yo, bro, you get wrecked.
Homie saying, guys, I'm speaking facts, but Oaks is wilding with them filters. I agree, bro. I'm trying to give a straight face here. But it's nothing. It's all good vibes. It's all good energy at the end of the day. Like, I'm appreciative of that. But shout outs to, yes, you're saying that Jordan Peterson slaps too. Like, I feel like that homie in and of itself, I read the 12. I read the 12 Rules of Life, the book that he wrote, and even
Yeah,
towards how he spoke about building your own house first before you attempt to help anybody else. That speaks to a level
yeah,
of energy in and of itself. When you think about, don't try and help somebody else's frequency out. Don't try and literally do anything if they're feeling on some type of way. If you haven't sorted out your own, I feel like Zen, your
definitely,
own
bro.
alignment within yourself. Don't go about trying to, I feel like, involve yourself in anything if you yourself know that your foundations are not solid and are not established to a certain degree, bro. And then I feel like there's so much concepts, there's so much chats that we can speak about. But in closing, because I know we are almost reaching the end of this, you said you had an hour to come through. I don't want to hog anybody
Yeah.
else's time. What concepts would, and this is for the conversation too, but what do you think are pertinent subjects that we can put out and start to speak about on the Beam sessions that I feel like are impactful? One of them being, I would say off the
Ooh,
bat, is GBV. There was a
yeah.
GBV. Bro, there was a GBV epidemic globally before the pandemic, and I feel like people should
Mm-hmm.
never ever lose sight of that.
And it
Everybody
was
should constantly
highlighted by
keep
the
the same
pandemic.
energy. Everybody should constantly speaking about it. It was highlighted by it even more. It was made worse by it because you're now in each other's spaces, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
toxic masculinity chat too. There's there's
There's
there's
that
there's
too,
so
man.
much that goes to that. So GBV toxic masculinity is something that I would put down
Let me say
first and
this.
foremost.
I, maybe like along those lines, and maybe even a better topic would be what does positive masculinity look like? I would really like to see
Mm.
that conversation. I think we can go on about what's happening, and it's very important that those stories are heard. I think what would be very important is if we discuss together, like, what can positive masculinity look like moving forward. I
Mm.
think that's because I mean, we know what's bad. I think we all know what's bad. Even the people who are doing it, they know that something within them has driven them to this point where they are not doing the right way about
Mm.
life, right? I think moving forward, it'd be like, okay, what are the steps that we can take personally in our immediate sphere moving forward? And then on a global scale, like, what does corrective measures look like? Because here's another thing about sending people to jail, because it just compounds the toxic masculinity, because then they put into an environment that kind of rewards behaving violent, because if you're in jail, the only way to
Mm.
survive is
The
being
prison
violent.
system in and of itself is something that's broken, and it is. I feel like it is linked, right? But and I see Teofatso's saying that also frequency of lyrics is something that we can speak about too. Is
Ooh.
what
Yeah,
language? Because your
alternative
words
hip
have
hop.
power, bro. Your
It was that
words
power,
have
dude.
power, big power. It manifests the desired reality that you can have in every single day life, and I feel like like you were saying, like, look, Cardi's music can make you feel some type of way, but I'm telling you right now,
Mm.
most of the time, bro, it's the beat. I'm no shade on the
It is
homie,
the
right?
beat. Nah, it is the
Most of the
beat.
time, it's the beat that makes you wild out. So you listening to the beat, and then your lyrics are literally going into your head, and I feel like
Over the top.
changing how your brain is even working, bro, over the top of your cup, and that's in and of itself. But on that tip that were speaking about, like positive masculinity, look where I see us right now. All of what we were portrayed as kids was this
Mm.
stupid ass Johnny Bravo type characters, these cold, like James Bond, Batman type of masculine images of, like, I feel like, of what it means to be a cool man. You understand what I'm saying? What does it mean
Mm,
to be
mm,
cool?
mm.
Everybody's trying to be cool, trying to act cool, trying to be distant, emotionally unconnected to who they are inside. As if
That's
that's
true.
you're not a human being, bro. As if your
Mm-hmm.
feelings and that's why I feel like we find ourselves so scarred, is because we aren't even like, men aren't even able to, I feel like, control or speak about their own problems and emotions. They just shut up and just like almost want to just be left alone dealing with this shit and shove it deep down into the abyss where it doesn't even matter. Where I find ourselves at is, from a point of masculinity, is this image of warm masculinity, bro. Not cool, but something where you can, like, homies, you feel good, you feel uplifted by those people, bro. Like there's plenty of examples of homies like that in the past and even right now. Like I think somebody that came to mind, and is if I can put it this way, is people that we are portrayed and seeing in the mainstream that are changing. Like homies, like I feel like Chadwick Boseman, rest his soul, bro. That homie was the definition, I feel like, a perspective of what it means to be a positive person, to uplift, to change. You know what I'm saying? This is something that I feel like is a complete trip. And Tejofatso, I think that we should have you as a guest too down on the show, bro. Thank you so much for the questions that you everybody's been putting in. This chat was so successful. Next week, 3 p.m., same time, same place, but not the same pretty face. I'll tell you that. There's other homies that deserve to be in this chat, that should be speaking about a whole lot of things that they are consciously on. And it's, yeah, and this is what this homie is also saying. There's nothing masculine about being toxic, right? Toxicity in and of itself is the negative spectrum of it. What is the positive that we can push
the shadow figure, dude.
The shadow, bro. So shout outs, guys. Blessings for the session. Orcs, you were great guest. I'm gonna hit up every single one of the people that were in this track. In this chat. If you guys would like to be a guest next week, Wednesday, or any following Wednesday, on any topic of subject matter that you feel is relevant to right now, just send us a DM and we'll get to it. Blessings, cousin. Love and light. Stay good. Your side, stay cooking.
Mike,
we're representing a whole lot, and there's a whole lot of waves.
Dude.
Before we dip, anything that the people can go and check out, go and stream right now, what are you working on? Let them know.
Dude, I have over
180
songs on Spotify. Oxide West. Just go check them out. I speak about some of the stuff that we
speak
about here. And yeah, man, IG, just hit me up.
That's it. You know where we are. You know where we at. Oxide West, thank you, bro. It's been a blessing. This is Judah for Beam Nation. Love and light, everybody. Stay cozy. Remember, your frequency is everything. Your vibrations are everything. You matter. You are loved. And you are cared for. Your existence in this reality is important. And there's people around you that cherish you and love you. Love and light, guys. Blessings. Peace.